What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be breaking down all the fights for UFC Vegas 105, Emmett versus Murphy. Now, before we get to that, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new or if you just haven't yet. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so you know when I put out my videos each week. When we go live on Wednesdays, if I do anything extra, you will be notified real quick. It's easy. Just hit that little bell right next to the subscribe and like buttons and all that good stuff. It's easy. It's free. Do it. But last night was UFC Mexico, and we had a bounce back week because UFC London was awful, but UFC Mexico was great. Picks were 10-2. The only picks I missed were Ronaldo Rodriguez and Drew Dober, which that sucked. But I knew it was going to be a 50-50 fight. Someone was going down, and it just was Drew Dober. For my bets, I had 5 bets. I won 4 of them, and I won plus 5.35 units. So big night for there. I won a couple fun bets as well that enhanced that a little bit more, but I don't like to get into those because they don't count because they're not tracked. And also, we won the easy money parlay for Defend Your Units. So we're back on track with that. So shout out to Effie from Any Action Sportscast. We are back. We're going to go on a winning streak next week. And for this one, and yeah, all the fights were good, nothing crazy. The only thing that was crazy that I can remember were 2 judges giving Rafa Garcia a 30-27, which he did not win 3 rounds. I mean, he barely won 2. So like, that's not a good look, but we'll get into that when Rafa fights again, because I don't want to get into any of these fights. We'll go right into the new fights. We always look forward. Look into the future. Don't look into the past. We don't want to do that. Unless you win. And everything changes. So, like I said, this week we got 13 fights. And all of them are pretty decent. There are some stinkers as always. But we'll get into those here. So let's go down here. Let's go down to the first one. We got first fight of the night, which is Lookboonmee versus Estela Nunes, aka aka for Loma is War Loma. So, but Loma, great kickboxer. She's got powerful leg kicks. She loves to push forward. She's a little pit bull. She does have some wrestling and grappling she can use. We've seen it lately in some of her fights. Good, and she got good ground and pound. Very durable. Yeah, good fighter. Only thing is she's a little small. But if there was an atomweight division, she'd be a beast, and she'd probably be in the top 5 in the atomweight division for sure. Estela Nunes, solid striker. She's very quick. She does have okay power. She's got good cardio for about a round and a half, and then she starts to slow down. And then her takedown defense and get up game is not great. So I do think Loma has the opportunity to take her down whenever she wants to. I think she's going to be the better striker. I think she's going to be the striker who's landing the better shots, good elbows, good knees in the clinch. Loma all day right here, whether it's by decision. I could see a sub. I can see a KO. I could see a ground and pound finish. Also, another thing too, Estela is coming back from an injury in her last fight, and that was like almost, I believe it was almost 2 years ago. So this is a big ask for Nunes, and Loma is no joke. So give me Loma to win. Pretty confident, probably one of my top 3 confident picks of the night. I know the line is minus 500 or so for Loma, but I think it's free. Put it in the parlay, forget about it, and move on to the next one, which is going to be Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talida Alencar. Sometimes these names look weird to me, but that's just how my brain works. I don't know what is going on. But Vanessa, we've seen her numerous times. Okay, striker. She has been getting better. She does have pretty some decent pop in her hands. Very good grappling, good submissions. Her takedowns aren't the best, but they aren't terrible anymore. She can get the fight to the mat if she wants to. She likes to push forward. She's very hittable on the feet, though. She is very tough, though, and very durable. Alencar, very good grappler. Her striking isn't that great. She does like to push up a high pace early to try to get the grappling and wrestling going, but she does slow down in her fights. She's very hittable on the feet as well. And her takedowns aren't the greatest either. She does struggle. But I would say Vanessa's takedown defense is pretty good, especially if she's up against the cage. But if she tries to get, if she does get taken down in an open mat, she kind of gets taken down rather easily. I'm going with Vanessa. Better striker. I think her grappling, she'll be safe if she does get taken down, and I think she has the better cardio. I think she's going to have the bigger dog in this fight, if you want, or be the bigger dog in this fight. And I think she wins the decision. I don't know why the line is as close as it is. I think it's a pick'em or close to it. I like Vanessa a decent amount. I think she wins this fight like 7 or 8 out of 10 times. So that's good enough for me. So give me Vanessa to win. I'll say decision. I could see maybe a late 3rd round finish, but Vanessa's really not the greatest finisher. She would just have to really dig deep, and maybe Alencar gasses out after the 1st round when she wins the 1st round, but it took a lot out of her. But I like Vanessa here in the spot, and I think she gets it done. Let's see. Next one, Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao, if that's the correct way to say it. It is what it is. Victor Henry, very solid striker. He throws tons of volume. Good cardio, durable. Takedown defense is pretty good. He can mix in the wrestling here and there. It's just sometimes in his fights, he makes some questionable fight IQ moment. He has some questionable fight IQ moments, and you're like, what the hell, dude? But he's very talented still. He's 37 years old, I know. He's getting up there, but I still think he's got some gas left in the tank. Then we got Pedro, who's a solid grappler himself. He does have good submissions, and let's see. He does have some power in his hands. His striking, though, isn't the greatest. He does like to use the striking to set up the takedowns. Solid cardio, though. We did see him take the fight. I think it was, well, maybe he didn't take this fight on short notice, or he did. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he did fight Victor Hugo, and it was a pretty close fight. He looked good early, then he kind of faded. Yeah, this fight might end up playing out closer than maybe you would like if you are on the Victor side. I am going to pick Victor Henry to win. Not super confident because I don't trust him enough to bet him. Let's put it that way. But I do think he wins. I think he probably wins by a decision. Maybe Pedro can find, I don't know, I don't think he's going to be able to sub. Well, Charles Jourdain was able to sub Victor, and I think I said that in that last fight. I don't think Charles will be able to submit Victor, and he did. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with Victor Henry by decision. I think Pedro does have a chance to win, but I'm going to say he doesn't. But I'm not going to touch this fight from a betting perspective. If I would look at something, it would maybe be the over 2.5, but even that's kind of a little bit of a dicey play. So give me Victor to win by decision. This is one of those fights where I'm just going to sit back and watch it, not going to really bet it. I don't really have a great read. But yeah, Victor it is. Next one is going to be McKee versus Daniel Frunza. Frunza it is. So McKee, solid striker. He's got power in those hands too. Throws a lot of volume. Likes to stay at range, which he's pretty good at actually. His takedown defense isn't the greatest. He can be controlled on the mat if he's taken down. And, he has been in some tough fights, before he came back on the second time, but he did fight a pretty decent fight against Angelusa. And then the Chidi fight was close. So he did lose 2 pretty close decisions, even though one was unanimous. But Daniel's making his UFC debut. He's a solid striker. He's got good leg kicks. He likes to push forward with good power. His takedown defense, though, isn't the greatest. So that's one thing if Reese wants to take this fight to the mat, which I do think he can. We just don't see it too much. I think he can do that if he's in trouble. But this could be another close fight. And I'm going to go with Daniel to win. Not very confident again, because I do think Reese has a chance to win this fight. But another fight, I'm going to stay away from betting. I'm not going to touch this one. Daniel's making his UFC debut. I have to be 150% sure if I was going to bet on a UFC debut guy that they have the right matchup with the right tools and the skills, and this isn't one. I think Reis, he's very durable. He's tough to get out of there, but Daniel does throw. He can knock him out maybe, but I think Reis has a chance. Maybe get a late finish or maybe to win rounds 2 and 3. So gonna stay away from betting, but I'm gonna go with Daniel to win, and I'll say by decision. Why not? Let's see. Next one is gonna be Dione Barbosa versus Diana Belbita. And Barbosa is a good grappler. Her striking is pretty okay. She does have some power in her hands if she does land. Good cardio, very durable. She's very strong. Her takedowns are mainly like trips when she has body locks, and her takedown defense isn't the greatest though. But in her last fight against Miranda Maverick, you can debate that she may have won that fight, but it was a lot closer than it probably should be, especially if you picked Miranda. Let's put it that way. And then we got Belbita. Let's see. Good striker as well. She does keep her range good. She's very hittable on the feet. High volume, though. Throws everything right down the middle. Good 1-2s and good jabs. She does, like I said, she doesn't really move her head, though. That's the thing. And she always has her head out. And not the greatest strategy, if you want to say, but she's just very hittable. Her takedown defense is okay. She does have some grappling she can use, but she's really a striker. I don't think she should try to grapple in this fight. I think she will lose. Molly McKenna was able to get an arm bar in her. That's all I'm going to say. So Barbosa is the play here. I think she's going to be way stronger than Diana. I think she can get this fight to the mat, use her trips. And on the feet, like, it's close. I mean, maybe you can debate Belbita has the better striking, but if Barbosa mixes in some takedowns, gets in the clinch, pushes Diana up against the cage, that striking's not going to be there anymore for her, and Barbosa should win this fight. So, give me Barbosa to win. I'm gonna say a late finish. I'm gonna say maybe like a ground and pound or submission from Barbosa. We did see, where was it? Barbosa get that armbar against Guerrero in the Dana White Contender Series fight, and then Barbosa did look good against Ernesto, who's kind of like the same style of striker as Belbita, but there you go. That's all MMA math. That's how it works. So give me Barbosa to win. I'm gonna say a late finish. I just don't know if it's gonna be a KO or a sub. Next one, interesting fight here. Davy Grant versus Daniel Willycat Santos. So Davy Grant, powerful striker. He throws tons of power on his leg kicks and his loopy hooks, straights down the middle. Those hooks always seem to go around the guard every time. He does have solid grappling and takedowns and wrestling that he could use. He's very durable. His cardio is pretty good. We have seen him slow down a little bit in a couple of his fights, like later in the rounds, but he's usually there. His power translates through all 3 rounds. The only thing with him, I'm sorry, I think I'm getting a little sick, but it is, sorry. He's 39 years old now, and the judges seem to not like Davy Grant for whatever reason. He has to literally win clearly in order for the judges to give him a 29-28. Like, clear. Anything close, they just go against him. That's the one thing I noticed with him. I'm still holding that, what is it, Daniel Marcos ticket, because he won that fight. And honestly, I thought he probably won the Yanez fight. So he could be right now 5-0 in his last 5. Think of it that way. But then we got Santos. Let's see. Very good striker. He's got good power in his hands as well. Good knees in the clinch. He always likes to push forward. He's a classic shoot-to-box guy. Good grappling as well. He can be hittable on the feet. Does that remind you of anybody on shoot-to-box? But good Good submissions as well. Very dangerous. Yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. But my thing is this. I like me some Willie Cat. But if David Grant lands a couple of those bombs, I don't know if Willie Cat's chin's going to be able to hold up. And if Willie Cat tries to go for some grappling, like I said, David Grant has good grappling. Good scrambles, good submissions as well. We'll see. I think David Grant's going to land the power and maybe have a little more moments. And I think Santos could land more by him. But I'm going to go. I think this is a very close 50-50 fight. And I'm going to go with Grant as the underdog here. It hasn't played or paid off for me in the past a couple times picking him. But I'm going to do it again. I wouldn't be shocked if Santos wins at all. He's very talented. The one play I would look here is maybe the plus 3.5 spread on David Grant since he is the underdog. I think he can win one round, and that just covers you if the judges don't really like David Grant on Saturday, which has happened before. So give me Grant to win. I'm going to say by decision, but like I said, he could crack Santos. Santos is too hittable for me. If he wasn't as hittable, I'd probably pick him. Next one. Let me get to it. Let's see. It's going to be Luis Gurule versus Osbourne. And Luis is making his UFC debut. He's a well-rounded guy. He's a good striker. He's very aggressive. He does like to push forward a lot. He's got good wrestling, good grappling. He's making his UFC debut. Like I said, he's undefeated. That's a warning right there. And he's fighting a UFC veteran who is Osbourne. And we all know who he is. He's a solid striker. He's got good power. He likes to use like flying knees and spinning attacks, try to get you out of there early. He has shown some wrestling that he can use later in the fight if he gets a little tired. His takedown defense isn't great. He can be controlled if he is taken down. His chin is a little questionable, but he's always a good fighter. I know he's on a 3-fight losing streak. But he did look good early against Ronaldo. He cracked him. He just didn't win that fight. A lot of these fights, like, you know, he's losing to very good grapplers. I think Luis wins this fight, but I'm just a little hesitant because he's making his UFC debut, and O'Day is no bum. And I'm just worried maybe O'Day has that veteran savvy and maybe squeaks out a win. But I'm going to go Luis to win. I'm going to say another decision. I think Luis can get that wrestling going, keep him down, win the control time. And on the feet, like it could be close. Maybe O'Day, you can argue, is a little bit better. He's going to have a 9-inch reach advantage. So the clear path to victory for Luis is clearly to wrestle here. And I think he can. So that's why I'm going to pick him. I just don't think O'Day is going to be able to keep this fight on the feet. And also, I don't trust his cardio. He slows down in the fight. So there are red flags on both sides, but I'm going to go with Luis to win. Not going to bet it. I think Luis is minus 260 range, 280, or somewhere around there. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, it's not worth it. If he was minus 150, maybe, but no way. Main card, we got Robert Valentin versus Torres Finney. So Robert, good striker, powerful hands. He can be a little hittable on the feet. He can wrestle. He does have sneaky submissions. I think he's got 6 submissions on his record. So 6 out of 10 wins are by sub. So that's pretty interesting because he looks mainly like a striker. In his last fight, he made his UFC debut against Ryan Loder, and he was basically just out wrestled and grappled and got KO'd on the ground. I wonder what's going to happen in this one with Torres Finney, who is also a very good wrestler. He throws power in his he has power in his hands. His striking, it's a little wild, a little loopy, but he's going to try to get this fight to the mat. That's his style. Very good ground and pound. He does have good submissions. He has got some submissions. He had a fight 3 times on a Dana White Contender Series, and I believe he got, I was going to say 3 finishes. He got 2 finishes out of those, 1 decision win. But he's just a little pitbull. Like, he's going to be small, but he's very thick, and he's going to be powerful. I think he's going to be able to get the takedowns. He's going to get the ground and pound going and keep Robert down. And then on the feet, maybe Robert has a little bit better chance. But I don't think this fight's going to play out on the feet. So give me Torres to win. I'm going to say ground and pound finish again, maybe second or third round. But I do like Finney in the spot. Again, this is the one where this is the matchup that I like for the UFC debut guy who's undefeated. I'm pretty confident that he gets this one done because there is a clear path to victory. We saw it. Ryan Loder did it. I think Finney can replicate that. Let's go. All right, next one. We got Gerald Meerschaert versus Brad Tavares. So we all know both of these guys. They're veterans in the game. Meerschaert is a very good grappler. He's got amazing submissions, solid striking. Takedown defense isn't the greatest, and also his takedowns aren't the greatest. But if he does get this fight to the mat, very good grappler. Back in the day, we used to say that his chin was a little dusty, but honestly, it looks a little better. He has been losing some close fights. I know he got KO'd against Joe Pyfer. That was almost 2 years ago, but probably maybe coulda, shoulda won against Petrosky in that split decision. He was looking good in the DeRitter fight until he wasn't. Then Brad Tavares, solid striker. He does have okay power, not the crazy one punch knockout guy though. Good takedown defense. His takedown defense is getting a little worse though. I will say that as of late, especially if you go back and watch that Park fight. Park was able to take him down pretty easily. His chin is a little dusty. We can say Rodriguez was able to KO him. But yeah, he's always tough. He's always durable. He's got decent cardio. He did slow down a little bit too in that third round against Park. And usually Gerald Meerschaert likes that third round submission. So this, to me, close fight. I'm going to go with the dog. I'm going to go with GM3. I think he can get this one done. I think he can get this fight to the mat. His striking isn't all that bad. I'm not really too worried about Tavares' power coming back to knock out GM3 or anything. And Tavares, I think if the fight gets to the mat, I think GM3 can get a submission. Let's look real quick. I don't want to say anything wrong. I know Tavares has never been subbed, but this is one of the guys that could sub anybody. And it's GM3. You know what to do, guys. GM3, round 3 sub. You always have to put a little bit of money down on it because it always happens more times than not. But I do think he finds the sub. Round 3. I'm going to say it. I think he gets it done. Maybe he lost the rounds 1 and 2, and Brad's a little bit slow and a little bit tired. Gerald's still in there in round 3. He gets the takedown. Sub. Let's go. Going with a dog. This is a dog one I'm going with. Next one. Canadian Nzechukwu versus Martin Buday. Yeah, this one's a pretty easy one for me, but let's break it down. Kennedy's a good striker. He's moving up to heavyweight, and he's looking real good. 2 wins, one against Chris Barnett, one against Lucas Brzeski. He's slowly moving up the path of, rankedness. And, when he was in light heavyweight, he looked a little slow, but now at heavyweight, he looks fast. He's got good striking, good takedowns if he wants to. Yeah, he's pretty durable too. And then you got Buday, who's an okay striker. Doesn't really have the power for heavyweights that you want to see. I would say his best trait is cage pushing up against the cage. He got some good knees. But other than that, he's hittable. He has a little quit in him. Give me Kennedy all day. I think he finds the KO round 2 or round 3. And this is one of my top 3 confident picks. For sure. All day. Don't even think about it. Play it. Just play it. Ain't no way Martin Buday is going to win this fight. No way. And if Kennedy loses, banned forever. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Interesting fight here. Cortavius Romious versus Cheng Ho Lee. So Cortavius, Solid grappler, good striking with good kicks. He does have pretty good wrestling and takedowns. Good. I like his submissions as well. You know, I would definitely say he's a better grappler than he is striker, but he's not like a fish out of water when he's on the feet though. I know in his last fight against Gaston, he was outstruck, but he was able to get the takedowns, and he just didn't get the decision though. And then Cheng-Ho Lee, well-rounded guy himself. He's a good striker, throws a lot of volume when he's on the feet. He can mix in some wrestling here and there. Takedown defense, though, isn't amazing. That's something to think about in this one, but he does have a pretty good get-up game if he is taken down. Good submission defense as well. And the last fight that he fought was a very, very, very close fight. And I'm going to go with the dog. Again, I'm going to go with Cortavius to win. I think he's going to be able to get the wrestling going. I think he's going to be able to get the grappling going. And on the feet, I think he's just fine. I don't think Lee's striking is leaps and bounds better by any means in this matchup. I think he'll be okay. But I can see the better wrestling and the better grappling on the Cortavius side now. He just has to merge everything together and get it done. But I do think this fight goes over 2.5. If you want to look at the over 2.5, I don't see a finish. If there is, I think it's definitely going to be on the Cortavius side, probably submission. But maybe look at plus 3.5 spread. But give me Cortavius to win by decision. I think that wrestling is going to get going. We're going to see what we should have seen in this first fight. The win there in this one. Not really too impressed with Lee. Not going to lie. I don't know why he's the favorite, to be honest. Maybe because he won his debut and Cortavius lost it? Recency bias? This matchup, though, Cortavius, baby. We got the co-main event. Interesting fight, for sure. Joe Anderson Brito versus Pat Sabatini. Brito's an explosive fighter on the feet, explosive on the mat as well. Good submissions. Throws his leg kicks. He throws 150% all the time. Love it. Fun fighter to watch. He's got good grappling. Very dangerous on the feet. Has power in his hands. Sometimes he does make some mistakes in his fight, and sometimes that's what costs him. And his takedown defense is just okay. I know Pat Sabatini is going to try to get this fight to the mat because that's just what he does. So he's going to have to be aware of that. But Sabatini is a very good wrestler and a very good grappler. He has very good control when he's on top. He is definitely position over submission. Good takedowns. His striking is okay, but that chin I don't trust at all. If it's touched once, it's game over. But if he can get that wrestling going so his chin doesn't get touched, then he is very tough. So that's what you're going to have to deal with if you're picking and or betting this fight. Do you think Pat can survive not getting touched up by Joe Anderson Brito for 15 minutes? I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with Brito. Pat Sabatini is going to look like probably he's going to win this fight until he's not. So give me Joe Anderson Brito to win by KO. I'm going to say early second round. Maybe like a flying knee hits him. Maybe an uppercut when Sabatini tries to shoot in. We'll see. But Brito is too explosive. If he wasn't as explosive, maybe I would like Pat. But yeah. Give me Brito to win. Not super confident though. I don't know if I want to put him in a parlay. Maybe if you want to make a play, it would be like inside the distance on Brito. I'd rather do that than put him in a parlay. Let's put it that way. And we got the main event, which is going to be Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Ooh, this is a good one. Josh Emmett's a powerful striker. He's got okay wrestling if he wants to use it, but he's probably going to keep it on the feet as he always does. He's very durable. He's got good cardio. That right hand he throws that all day, and he if you saw the Bryce Mitchell fight, that's crazy. He can be a little hittable at times, but like I said, he's very tough. He's very durable. And his takedown defense isn't great. But I don't know if Lerone's going to mix in some wrestling because he totally could. But he's a very good striker himself. He's more technical than Josh is. He doesn't really have the power that Josh has, but he does have okay power. Good volume. Takedown defense isn't amazing either. But he does have a pretty good get-up game to get back up. I don't think Josh is going to be able to keep him down if he gets taken down. And I don't know if – I think Lerone possibly can keep Josh down if he does, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just speculating if in case one person gets in trouble. But we have Josh, who is 40 years old now. He is still looking pretty good. He's not like he's washed or anything. He lost a lot of close fights. He's won some that he shouldn't have against Calvin Cater. So I remember that because I was there. And this is kind of the same thing with the last fight. I said, do you think Sabatini will be able to not get cracked for 15 minutes? Now swing it to this way. Do you think Murphy is not going to get cracked in 25 minutes? That's what we're dealing with here. I'm going to say Murphy wins. I think if Murphy can survive 2 rounds, maybe that power from Josh isn't 100%, and I think he'll be able to survive the rest of the 3. But I know who's going to be landing more. I know who's going to be maybe doing a little more damage, like progressively, which is going to be Lerone. But moments, knockdowns are going to be coming from Josh. And if Josh lands a knockdown, he's going to win that round. I still don't know if he's going to be able to win 3, and I don't know if he's going to be able to knock out Lerone. We have seen Lerone get rocked a couple times, but not knocked out. So this is a close fight. It's interesting. I know he's minus 300 or higher now, not minus 265. So I don't really like that line. If he was minus 200, I'd be okay with it. But give me Murphy to win by decision, though. I'm going to go with him. I think he's the younger, fresher guy. And as the fight goes on, I think he's going to have the more gas tank. I think he's going to be okay. But I'm not 100% confident in this one. This one's an interesting one. So give me Murphy to win by decision, though. But all right, guys, that is it. That's all 13 fights for UFC Vegas. Oh, what is it? 105. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit that like button for me and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below on any of the fights that you disagree with me. What bets you got going on, all that good stuff. You can do that. Also, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. You can see all my early UFC content. I have a couple bets right now that I will be placing on Patreon after this. Also do UFC cheat sheets as well. Survivor pools. UFC Survivor pool is almost done. There's 2 guys left. They are surviving literally. It's insane how much they keep getting it. I keep trying to get them out, but they just keep surviving. I keep adding rules to it so we can keep going, but it is what it is. Hey, good on them. Let's see what else. And Wednesday night, obviously, Defend Your Units. We'll be back with a special guest. We're going to have fun with that and get that easy money parlay going again for 2 weeks in a row. So, like I said, thank you for watching. See you next time. Enjoy the fights. Good luck on your picks. Good luck on your bets. Until next time, happy fight